Oh, we've all been there, right? You're staring at a sink full of murky water that just refuses to go down. It's got to be one of the most universal frustrations. So in this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain, demystify that slow drain, and figure out exactly what is going on inside your pipes. It starts with that little gurgling sound, you know? Then the water takes just a little bit longer to disappear. You think you fixed it, maybe you pour something down there, and then a few weeks later, it's back. It can feel like this never-ending battle, but trust me, understanding the real cause is the first step to finally winning the war. So, let's get into it. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start by talking about why that slow drain is a much bigger deal than you think. Then, we're going to meet the usual suspects, the things inside your home causing the trouble. After that, we'll uncover some of the unseen, kind of sneaky plumbing problems. Then we'll learn how to play detective to figure out what's what. And finally, we'll wrap up with some simple, drain-friendly habits to keep this from happening again. Okay, first things first. That slow drain, it isn't just annoying. It's actually an early warning signal. You got to think of it as your plumbing system waving a little red flag, trying to tell you that something is wrong before it turns into a huge, messy emergency. And this is really the heart of the matter. Our source material from the Dr. Drain blog puts it perfectly. Ignoring that slow trickle now could mean you're dealing with a full-blown, disgusting, and potentially damaging backup later. So the key takeaway here? Pay attention to those early signs. So what's actually causing the blockage in the first place? Well, most of the time, the culprits are things we're putting down the drains ourselves, every single day, without even thinking about it. Let's meet this little cast of characters. All right, let's break these down. First up, the classic combo. Hair and soap. In your shower, that hair twists together into these nasty mats, and then soap scum comes along and acts like glue, just making the whole thing thicker and stickier. Yuck. Next, in the kitchen, we've got grease and food. You pour that leftover cooking oil down the sink, and what happens? It cools, it gets hard, and it sticks to the inside of your pipes. It's like cholesterol for your plumbing, just narrowing that passage over time. And finally, we have foreign objects. I'm talking about things like wipes. Even the ones that say flushable, spoiler, they're not, or big chunks of food. They just don't break down, and they're pretty much guaranteed to start a major clog. But what if you're super careful about all that stuff and you still have clogs? Well, sometimes the problem isn't what's going down the drain, it's the drain itself. There are hidden underlying issues that can cause these problems over and over again. You're not going to believe this one. Those beautiful trees in your yard? They could actually be the source of your plumbing nightmare. Their roots are hardwired to hunt for moisture and nutrients. And guess where they find them? Inside your sewer lines. They can work their way into the tiniest little cracks, and once they're inside, they just grow and grow, creating this massive natural blockage. You know, the age of your house plays a huge part in this too. Over decades, the inside of older metal pipes can get all corroded and rough. And that rough surface, it's basically like Velcro for gunk. It snags all the hair, grease, and other little particles that would normally just flow right on through a nice, smooth, newer pipe. Okay, here's one most people never, ever think about. Your plumbing system needs to breathe. Seriously, you have these things called plumbing vents. They're usually little pipes sticking out of your roof, and they let air into the system so water can flow down smoothly. If a vent gets blocked up with leaves or a bird's nest or something, it creates this vacuum effect, and that's what leads to super slow drains and those telltale gurgling sounds. Okay, so now that we know all the possible causes, how do you figure out which one is the villain in your home? Well, it's time to put on your detective hat because the pattern of the problem gives you some major clues. This right here is the #1 diagnostic test you can do yourself. Pay attention. Is it just one sink or shower that's acting up? If it's just one, you're probably dealing with a local clog, hair in that one shower drain. But if multiple drains are backing up at the same time, especially in different parts of the house, that points to a much bigger, more systemic problem. The blockage is likely way further down the line, maybe in a shared pipe, the main sewer line, or it could even be one of those ventilation issues we just talked about. Knowing the cause is great, but you know what's even better? Preventing the problem in the first place. So let's talk about some really simple drain-friendly habits that can save you a world of trouble. These are the fundamentals, folks. Number 1, use drain strainers. They're cheap, they're simple, and they are incredibly effective at catching hair and food. They're your best friend. Number 2, never, ever, ever pour grease down the drain. Pour it into an old can or jar, let it cool, and toss it in the trash. Third, be super mindful of what you flush. The toilet is not a trash can. Only human waste and toilet paper should go down there. Period. And finally, listen to your drains. When you hear that gurgle or see that slow drainage, don't ignore it. Jump on it right away.
And that really brings us right back to the beginning, doesn't it? As our source material wisely says, being proactive is everything. Tackling those small signs early on is hands down the best way to prevent a catastrophic backup, protect your home from nasty water damage, and save yourself from a way more expensive repair bill down the road.
So the next time you hear that gurgle or see the water hanging around in the sink for just a little too long, don't just sigh and walk away. Stop for a second and ask yourself, what is my plumbing trying to tell me? Because answering that question, that can make all the difference.